Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Rev here, and today I'm coming back at you with another life story. And in today's video, we're going to be going into the time that I got caught sneaking out as a 14-year-old. And this was kind of the first time that I ever really got into trouble. I was kind of goofing around and just acting like an idiot, just disrupting class and just generally being an idiot in middle school. And I got into some trouble like in school, but I never, this was the first time I had actually gotten into some like serious trouble that it could have had some repercussions, and it somewhat did. But we'll just go ahead and get right into the story. Now this would have been way back in around 2018. I remember this was literally the first weekend of high school. This was like the first weekend that we had after our first few days of school. So, you know, of course we were on our goon shit, cause we just had that ego, man. We felt like big kids now, you know what I'm saying? And it was me and two of my homies, and we're gonna go ahead and call them, we'll just call them Jacob and Riley. That's not their real names, but we're just gonna call them that for this video. Now, we were hanging out, it was a Friday, it was the first Friday of the school year of like ever that I had in high school. It was the first Friday ever in high school, and it was us three hanging out in Jacob's basement, and we were kind of just fucking around. And back then we were all really innocent. We weren't even vaping at that point. We had never done any drugs. I think we had maybe gotten drunk at that point, but then maybe, I don't even know about that. We were really innocent. We were kind of just hanging out and playing video games. Now, we were basically just chilling in his basement, kind of just fucking around, and I don't even remember who brought it up. I want to say it was Jacob, just because he was kind of the one who was fucking around before any of us. He kind of started getting into trouble and doing drugs and shit before any of us did. So I want to say it was him, but I'm really not sure. But they had brought up, you know, we should sneak out. And I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't even question it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Just because I kind of just had the thoughts of, you know, this is high school, and I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to be a bitch anymore. And I should have remained a bitch, because I fucking regretted it after that night. But we'll get to that later in the story. After, you know, I want to say it was probably around 11 to 11:30. That's when we were getting ready to sneak out. And the way my homie's basement is laid out, or I guess it used to, because it's been redone since this story. This was a long time ago. But how it used to be laid out is you would go down the stairs, and directly in front of you would be a couch facing to the left towards a TV. So we were just, you know, sitting on the couch, fucking around, watching TV, doing it, whatever. And when we got ready to sneak out, what we did was we had Jacob go up first, because it was his house, you know. We didn't feel comfortable going up first when it wasn't even our house. But we had him go up first, and then we had him, honestly, I don't even remember what he did. I want to say he, like, went out of his front door, or maybe he climbed out of his window or something. I'm really not too sure. But I just remember he came around and, like, opened the screen door for me and Riley. So then we go up the stairs, and, you know, when you go up the stairs, it's just a straight shot for the screen door. So we just go out the screen door, and then we're chilling. And one of the reasons why we had snuck out this night is because Jacob had found his dad's Cuban cigars. He found like this big box of them, and he took, I think, 2 of them, I want to say. Yeah, it was 2 of them. And so we had the two cigars, and that's what we were going to do, is we were just going to sneak out, walk around town, and smoke these Cubans. Which was kind of fucking stupid, but, I mean, it was a vibe, I'm not going to lie. That was, like, one of the most memorable nights of my life, I'm not even going to lie. So, we finally get outside, and we need a lighter for the Cubans, obviously. So, we start walking, because Jacob had some matches. So, we walk, like, maybe a block away, and we start using the matches to try and light the Cuban. Which was dumb as hell, because I mean, it's possible to light a Cuban cigar with matches, but Jesus Christ, you're just setting yourself up for failure, man. Like, we sat there for so long trying to get it to spark, and it just would not fucking spark. So then we just go back to his house, and he grabbed a lighter out of his garage. I think it was his dad's or some shit. And we finally spark up the Cuban, and we get it rolling. And none of us really knew how to smoke it. You know, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, so we kind of just lit it and started puffing on it, smoking it, or passing it around. And we kind of just started aimlessly walking around town, and we walked to the main street of my town, and it's basically where all the businesses are. It's the main street in our town. And I guess it's funny because it's not Main Street. There is a Main Street in my town, but that's not what I'm talking about. But we go to this main road, and we just start walking down the street, and there's fucking no one out because it's like 12 o'clock at night. There's, you know, a couple cars passing by every now and again, but like for the most part, we are just completely by ourselves as a bunch of 14-year-olds freshly into high school at like 12 o'clock at night, just walking around smoking Cuban cigars. So we walk, I want to say, for maybe 20 or 30 minutes, and we were cutting through backyards and shit. And I don't know, it's just weird. I can't really describe the vibe that I had this night. It was just my first taste of rebellion, and it's just such an irreplaceable feeling that it's just really hard to put into words because I have so much nostalgia for it, honestly. But enough rambling. So we're just walking down the main road, and we get to this point where there's a bunch of gravel, I remember, and we had smoked about 3/4 of the cigar at this point. And we'd been walking for probably about 30 or 45 minutes. And we go ahead and decide to put the Cuban out because we were not, like, experienced at all. This was, like, it wasn't our first time we had ever had nicotine, but it was damn well, like, the first 5, you know? Like, it was one of the first times we had ever had nicotine. And it was too much, you know? We just couldn't finish it. So we just put it out, stomped on it, you know, completely ruined the end of it. But we didn't give a fuck, as we were just fucking around. So we put it out, and we decide that we're gonna head to Walmart. And like that's a long ass walk in my town. We had literally walked like 3, almost 4 miles at like 11:30 at night. And we were just walking down the main road, and I'm honestly surprised we didn't get stopped by any cops. I think it was just a really light night, and there wasn't a lot of, you know, cops out patrolling. But we were just walking down the main road of my town, just not giving a fuck, and we were just strolling, fucking talking about random bullshit, just fucking around mostly. And we got up to, I remember we got up to about I want to say 100 to 200 feet away from Walmart, and for some reason we were tweaking about getting caught with the Cuban cigars, like, when we were going into Walmart. I don't really know why we were worried about that, but we weren't used to carrying illegal shit at that point, so we just did what our instincts told us to do, and we hid them under a bush at a Mocha's, like, not that far away. I think it was a Mocha's, I don't know, it was some coffee shop or some shit. But we hid the Cubans under a bush, and we weren't worried about anyone seeing them, because once again, it was literally, at this point, it was probably 12:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning. Actually, no, it would have been later than that. It was probably closer to 1:30 or 2 in the morning, because it took us goddamn, like, 2.5 hours to walk all the way over to Walmart. It's like I said, that's a long-ass walk, and especially when you're, 3 14-year-olds, it's not like we have the biggest strides. But we go into Walmart and we buy a couple monsters, I think. I'm pretty sure that's all we got was just monsters. Literally the most 14-year-old thing we ever could have done, you know, walking to Walmart at like 2 in the morning to buy fucking monsters. And I remember it was funny because we saw another, like, this kid we went to high school with and his homie, and he was there and he was underage too, and it was pretty funny. But we get our monsters and we leave. And we start walking back, and we go by, pick up our Cubans, and we're walking under, like, an overpass where an interstate goes over the main road I was talking about that leads all the way to Walmart. And as we were under that underpass, that's where we sparked up our second Cuban that we had, I remembered. So we sparked that up, start smoking it, you know, and we walked maybe, I want to say maybe 5 minutes. Probably not even 5 minutes. It was probably closer to like 3 or 4 minutes. Smoking on the Cuban, passing it around, you know, trying to act cool because none of us knew what the fuck we were doing. But we finally get up to right next to this gas station. Like it was like a convenience store, you know, just a regular ass gas station convenience store. And we get up to there and we look up, and I don't think I was the one who saw it. I'm pretty sure it was Jacob or Riley. But one of them just goes, "Cop!" And we look up and there's just a cop driving down the road. And he didn't even have his lights on or anything. It was pitch black and I doubt they even saw us. But we just freaked out at the sight of a cop, and we started sprinting towards the back of the convenience store. Like, I'm talking like there was someone behind us with a goddamn 22 just trying to fucking kill us, bro. I swear to God, we were sprinting so fucking fast, like our lives depended on it, bro. And we finally get behind the convenience store, and I remember we're hiding like behind the store, behind like right next to where the AC vent is and shit, or not the vent, like the AC unit, you know what I'm talking about. And we're kind of like crouching behind there, and it's been like 20 seconds since we saw the cop, and it's like finally starting to calm down. I'm thinking we're in the clear, and then Jacob just starts barely poking his head out around the corner, and he gets his head almost all the way around, so I'm thinking we're good. He just keeps going. And he just, "Oh, fuck!" And then he fucking sprints. And we start sprinting, too. And we run into the parking lot of a hotel. And Jacob kept running. Yo, guys, this is post-editing Rev here. So, it's part of the story that I completely forgot about. So, Jacob had run off with the lit cigar that we had. Because, obviously, at 14 years old, we could not be walking around with Cuban cigars. So when he kept running, he took off with the Cuban, and I just needed to say that part of the story because it's important, and I completely left it out. Thanks, your local idiot here. But I saw Riley like dive to the ground, and I thought he had fallen. Like I thought he tripped and was trying to run, you know. So I stop and try to help his ass up. And I turn around, put my hand out. This motherfucker goes, "Yo, get down, get down!" And like, I'm just like, I knew that was fucking stupid. But at this point, the cop had already pulled up and was like putting his car into park. So I didn't have a choice. I just dove to the ground. And the cop was just like, "Come on, guys, get out. You know, we can see you there." So we just gave up right away and we got out. And he starts talking to us and he's like, "Well, what are you guys running for?" And we're like, "Oh, you know, we just snuck out. We were just, you know, walking around." And it's like, "Oh, well, who's your friend that ran?" And then Riley gives him up, like, right away, of course. Just zero fucks given. He did not give a fuck, bro. He gave him up and gave him his phone number and everything. And I remember he was giving him dumbass information. Like, he was like, "Oh, yeah, you know, that's Jacob. He's in track. Yeah, here, I can give you his phone number if you want." You know, it's like, what the fuck, bro? And he gives him his phone number, and I don't think he tried to call him right there. I'm pretty sure, he kind of just, like, took notes on what was happening, you know? And then he puts us in the back of the police cruiser, and that was kind of where the feeling really set in, where I was like, damn, like, I'm in the back of a cop car right now. This is not fucking good. And I kind of knew we weren't getting arrested, you know, but I knew the possibility was there. So and I remember it was so dumb because Riley kept asking like the cop to roll down the window in the back because it was hot back there. I guess it wasn't even that hot to me. It wasn't hot to me, but apparently it was to him. And he kept asking him to roll it down like 3 times in a row. And I was like, "Bro, can you just like shut the fuck up? Like we're in the back of a cop car. Don't make this any worse, dude." But eventually, he gets back in his cop car. You know, the cop, and he drives us over to the cop station. And He brings us inside and sits us down at a desk, and it wasn't like some interrogation shit. It was real casual, you know. Like, we weren't like, I mean, we were scared because we were 14 and didn't know what to expect, but like, I knew I wasn't about to get put in jail or some shit, you know. Like, I knew that's not what was about to happen. So he sits us down at the table, and he asked us who our friend was, and I'm pretty sure Riley told him everything, you know. He told him, you know, his name and his number and shit. And then he called Jacob up. And he picked up, and at this point, from what I remember, right, he was like way far away from where we were. Like, at this point, he was miles away from where we had originally gotten caught, and he was on his way back to his house. And, you know, the cop basically tells him, you know, you need to get home, like, now. We're not gonna come pick you up, but you need to get home, like, now. So, you know, he goes home, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm pretty sure a cop visited him that night. But with me and Riley, they basically took down our information and then called our parents and had them come and pick us up. And then they charged us with a curfew violation, which really wasn't a big deal. It was, I don't even think it was a misdemeanor. Maybe it was, but I want to say it was just an infraction or whatever the hell. But it still sucked, you know, because that was the first time I ever got in trouble, and I really, like, I felt like I disappointed my parents, like, hardcore. Even though I disappointed them many times afterwards in much worse ways, but that's besides the point. That was the first time it ever really happened, so it hit me real hard, you know. But yeah, this is really all I have for you today, guys. This is honestly one of my favorite stories that I have to tell. It's just it's such a unique story. I don't really have any other stories that are like this, and this was really the first time that I ever did anything that was against the rules. and you know, really did what I want, and it was kind of the first high school experience I ever really had, you know, where I learned something from it, and, you know, realized that it was kind of fucking dumb to be doing what I did. But, you know, it was definitely worth the experience. I'm glad that I did it, just because, I don't know, just that feeling that I got that night from walking through town, smoking a cigar with my friends at 14 years old, freshly into high school. It's one of those feelings that I'll never be able to recreate, and there's just something so special about that I'll always cherish. And, you know, it sounds kind of fucking dumb, but that's the reality of it, you know. That's one of my best memories that I honestly have, and I really, you know, I learned a good deal from it, and it taught me quite a bit. But yeah, that's really all I have today for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. Any support is appreciated. I really appreciate it from you guys. It means the world to me. And that's all I have today for you. Peace.